is going to take us back to last month on our grand journey through England, Scotland, and Ireland.
Northern and Southern.
Northern and Southern. However, we're not going to do the whole thing today because that would just be crazy. We're going to do one tiny
That would
part.
be like a 3-hour podcast, and nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. We don't want that.
We don't either.
I don't think there's enough gin in this house for that.
I don't believe there is.
No, there's not. But today we're going to talk about the first part of our trip and what it's like to rent a car in England. Actually, renting the car is easy. Driving the car is a different experience.
Hey there, and welcome to Wandering Works for Us. We're Shelley and Beth, a married couple living in Portugal and exploring the world one story at a time. Come wander with us as we laugh through language fails, cultural surprises, and GPS disasters, and discover just how amazing this world can be.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast, Wandering Works for Us. I'm Shelley.
And I'm Bev.
And we're trying something new today.
We're recording our pictures. We're doing video.
We're doing video today, which, of course, is brand new to us in a sense. I mean, we've recorded video before, but we did not have the intent of putting it out there into the world.
No, and this is totally an experiment. I mean, like, I have on a t-shirt and, you know.
And I got the Saturday afternoon hair thing going on. So there's a big possibility that I'll be cutting all this, but
if we don't, hey, this is the real us, man.
It pretty much is. This is how the actual podcast goes. We are sitting in our living room. You can see behind me is outdoors. Behind her is the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, this is real. We're being real, man.
We're being real, man.
We're being real.
Being a little scary.
Speaking of being real.
Yes.
What are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about the first part of our grand adventure in May.
It was such a grand adventure, wasn't it?
It was. We went to England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and the Republic of Ireland.
In 3 weeks.
For 3 weeks.
Oh, my gosh.
And we learned a lot of things.
We did. Like, we need to follow our own rules.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing we learned was if we are going to be moving around, which we tend to do slower than we did in this trip, but even if we're moving around more at our pace, like not staying anywhere one night, but staying somewhere 2 or 3 nights, I still think 2 weeks is our absolute max.
God, yeah. God.
The only way I would want to go and stay gone more than 2 weeks is if we're doing something like we've talked about doing, where we're hired as pet sitters and we're living in somebody's house in Italy for a month.
Yeah, maybe. And so that we can be slow.
Yeah. And we can, we're not moving around all the time. We're going out on day trips. We're doing things, but we're coming back to the same home base.
Yes.
I think we could stay longer then.
Yeah.
Also, we wouldn't be eating out all the time.
Oh, my God. Ugh.
Which is one of the big things, honestly. We get so tired of eating out.
That was one of the hardest things because, on a night that we might be very tired and we just want to go back to our place and eat something that we've cooked or picked up somewhere and just have a chill time, we couldn't do that. And part of the reason for that is A, we were staying in hotels a lot of times, but B, we were with other people. So on this trip, we traveled with our besties. They came from the United States over to the island, to Great Britain, and visited us while we were there. And so, we were spending as much time as we could with them. And of course, since we're in hotels, we do have to, eat out because I hate eating in a hotel room. I think it's gross.
Yeah. Shelley doesn't like the way
standards.
it smells afterwards.
Yes.
Well, and you know how it is when it's anything more than just the two of us.
Yeah.
I mean, this is for anybody, not just us. You, all of a sudden, you're into this. What are we doing for breakfast? What are we doing for lunch? What are we doing for dinner? When in a normal day, we may or may not eat 3 actual meals.
Yeah.
And then we end up eating 3 actual meals. I don't know. It was just.
Or having to just make that decision. Because a lot of times we just pop in somewhere and get something. It wasn't like, what do you feel like?
Don't get us wrong. It was a great trip. And we
had the best time.
And we're going to tell you all about it.
Yes.
But what we learned is that 2 weeks on a trip like that is probably our max.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So we started our trip in London.
Flew into London.
Rented a car, which was the easy part.
Of the car, yes.
And then we drove the car to our first stop in Oxford. So today we're going to talk about our day in Oxford and what we saw and what we did. But
2 days, really.
Yeah, it was really 2 days. But we really have to give you some background information about how much fun it was to drive in England. You know.
Yeah, so we got there. We drove up to Oxford. We spent the night, just us. And then the next morning, our friends, Julie and her mom, Anne.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Julie and Anne.
Hi, Julie and Anne.
They flew in, when you come from the States, it's an overnight flight. So they got there the next morning.
They did not.
What?
You don't remember? Oh. They were supposed to get in that morning.
Oh, yes, that's right.
But as we were checking our phones, we hadn't heard from them, of course, because they were coming in on an overnight flight. And we're like, okay, they're supposed to land about 10 in Heathrow, and they'll be here about maybe 12. Well, I looked down at my phone at one point at the flight, and it goes, this flight flew out of Boston. And I was like, what? And it turns out they had a medical emergency on board and had to divert to Boston. So they were like several hours late coming in and getting into Oxford. So we kind of had the entire day to ourselves.
Just about, yeah.
Yeah, unplanned. And, well, one tiny part of it was planned. And the rest of it was just, ooh, let's go here.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go here.
And they were supposed to be with us like by lunch at the latest.
Yeah.
And so they missed most of Oxford, which they'll just have to go back.
They will.
And we loved Oxford, so we'll probably go back as well. Why did we want to go to Oxford, Shelley?
Well, first of all, I love libraries. So I wanted to see the Bodleian Library. I was so excited about that. And one of the reasons I knew about the Bodleian Library was actually Discovery of Witches, my favorite trilogy of books by Deborah Harkness. Shout out, Deborah.
Yes, and highly recommend reading it if you haven't.
Love these books. And of course, they start actually in Oxford. That is like the opening scene of the first book. She's in Oxford and she's going into the Bodleian to the Selden Inn, and she gets a rare manuscript. And I'm not going to give anything else away, but y'all should read them.
Yes.
There's also a TV series. I don't think it's as good as the books, of course, but, read them. So I wanted to see this library and to walk around Oxford and just see how beautiful it was, because we had heard all those things about how beautiful it is. But also, it's a filming place for a lot of Harry Potter films.
Yes,
so
which we also love.
Yes, I was on my Harry Potter / Discovery of Witches tour as we were in Oxford.
And I wanted to see it for same reasons and just all the gorgeous architecture of Oxford University. You've seen it in a million movies. That kind of thing. And I just wanted to see it. What I didn't realize until we got there is that Oxford is actually big.
It is big. The city is bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's you picture, I think, in my head, I pictured driving in, staying on the edge of the university in these fabulous greens, spaces and with a college here and a college there and a college there and, all their different colleges. And it's not like that.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It is very spread out.
And it's also gotten very popular, and the population has really grown. So there's a ring road, and we should back up and talk about driving because the ring road figures into that story.
It does.
So, Shelley, why don't you start us out?
Well, the first part of this, of course, we get into this car and we rent a rather large car, one that's probably another half size of our car sticking out the back.
I think it's more like 2 times the length.
Because, of course, we're traveling with our friends who don't necessarily travel light. They're coming from the United States and they're shoppers. They're going to bring a lot of things back. We wanted to make sure that we could get at least 3 to 4 carry-ons, backpacks, and a large suitcase in it. Plus, we are on a road trip. So we're going from Oxford to the Cotswolds to Bakewell to the other places that are in this podcast. I'll have to tell you about York. It seems like there was something else in there in between York, all the way up to Scotland. And so we needed it to be very comfortable. So we get into the car, and it is a very fancy car with lots of bells and whistles and a huge screen.
And it talks to you.
And it
was a Mercedes sedan E-Class.
E-Class, I think.
I always forget what it was. It was a yacht, basically. It was very fancy, and it was very long. And when we pulled into parking places, about 2.5 or 3 feet of it stuck out. It wouldn't fit in parking places. But if we went back tomorrow and did where we had
again.
Julie and Ann in the back seat, and the reason that is because Shelley and I were driving, and I would rent the exact same car because it turned out that it was very comfortable in the back as we had, expected it to be, and it was. And they could see out really well, and we drove around a lot, and so it was important they be able to see out. And we got all the luggage in, even with the shopping. So I'd rent the same car, but it was quite the challenge to, get used to.
Yes, it definitely was. And the thing is, of course, the steering wheel is on the right side, and we're going to drive on the left side. Yes, that's correct. And Beth decides she's going to drive first, that's cool. Okay, fine.
Because I usually drive here.
You usually drive everywhere. So we pull out, and of course I'm nervous as hell. So I'm having, I'm screaming things like, no, you need to be in that lane. Yield to the right. I am not a very good backseat side person driver. I'm not.
She's a very good navigator, but sometimes she yells the directions.
Yes, especially when I'm scared. But anyway, we get out and we're trying to figure out how to work the screen and hook up the CarPlay to our phone so that we can navigate where we're going. We're trying to figure out where we're going and making sure we're on the right side of the road, or the left side, which wasn't actually as hard as I thought it was going to be because, traffic.
And you just kind of get used to it fast.
And then, of course, there's so many bells and whistles in this car that, I'm riding down the road and I'm realizing after a while that my butt is on fire. And I'm like, I'm looking at the screen and I'm trying to bump off of the navigation to figure out how to cut off the seat warmer on my side of the car because it's on high and it is hot.
And y'all, this is a
God.
Mercedes, so it was a really good seat warmer.
It was the best seat warmer. If it was cold, it would have been perfect.
The screen in the car was this big. It was huge. And she's punching all these different buttons, and every time she does it, it goes off the navigation, and I'm already in traffic. And it was like Laurel and Hardy do.
It was.
Heathrow.
And it wasn't until we actually got out of London and we're on a highway headed toward Oxford that I finally figure out that the seat warmer switch is on the door. Because I am swearing up a storm as we are going down the road because I'm hot, I'm uncomfortable, I have no idea where we're going, I'm scared to death.
It was a whole thing, y'all.
It was a whole thing. But, okay, and so we have decided that, we're going to take this trip on our pace to get to Oxford because we're not meeting anybody and we have a hotel waiting for us. So we're going to go to the oldest bar in England, which, before you come at us, we know it's not the oldest bar in
Well,
England.
it is one
of them.
As I say, it's the oldest with an asterisk.
Yes.
Yeah. There's evidently about 4 or 5 oldest bars or pubs.
Yeah.
Or,
This one's 900 years old?
This one is over 900 years old, and it's called the Old Royal Standard.
And so as we turn off of the road to go to this nice little bar that's in a quaint little village, it's not like we can just get off the highway and boop, right there it is.
It's not America.
No, we got to turn down a road that is technically a two-way road, but it's not.
Yeah.
So it has these turnouts. So this is our first experience of country driving in England, where if somebody's coming at you, you've got to get to the turnout spot. And the turnout spot is not very big. And a lot of times it's very rough.
Yes.
And plus we're in this humongous car that we can't figure out how big it is really, but all of the sensors on the car are telling us how big it is.
I said to Shelley at one point, I think there's 20 cameras on this car.
Yes, it's too close. And it's, bells and alarms start going off when you're too close to the edge.
It was crazy.
So we get down there and we come out, and the parking lot for this place is humongous.
It is.
And the outdoor part of this place is humongous.
Yeah.
And we go in, and it is the coolest bar.
It what bar / restaurant / pub / dart game / listen to, music outside. I mean, they evidently really pack in people on the weekends. We were there on a Wednesday. Was it a Wednesday?
Yeah, I think
afternoon, like after the lunch crowd, but we did have lunch.
Yeah.
They served food all day, but it was just one of the most charming places I have ever been. The dark timbers in the ceiling. There were fireplaces everywhere, and it was just like one of those places you see in the movies where there's nooks and crannies everywhere to sit or to, there's a room here where you can be. There's a room there. There's a room,
Yeah.
It was really cool.
It was.
I'm glad we went.
And we just, we hung out inside next to a window and took all the pictures and ate and enjoyed a pint and took our time because, don't want to drink too much and drive.
That's right.
You really don't want to drink and drive, but still.
Took our time.
And so, of course, we come back out to this very skinny road so we can get on a different road.
We did.
And so that part was enjoyable. But what we realized also is at that point, as we were heading into Oxford, where they're taking us around to Circle Road, is that we're in 5 o'clock traffic.
Yeah.
And not only are we in 5 o'clock traffic, but England has these roundabouts. Now, of course, Portugal's full of tiny roundabouts everywhere. I mean, sometimes
everywhere.
There's a roundabout and you're not sure it is a roundabout.
It's so small. Yeah.
But these are humongous. They're like infinity circles almost.
Right.
Right. And they have several exits going off in every direction. And we can't tell with our navigation system what lane we're supposed to be in. They'll be like, stay in the 3rd lane to the left and take the 2nd exit. And we're like, oh, shit, where are we going? And we missed our exit so many times.
Yeah, we were just hanging out on the roundabouts.
Oh,
well, actually,
God.
it would have been okay.
We'd go off
We'd
and
go
we'd go
off
like
on one.
miles down the road,
Yeah.
and then we'd have to come back and
deal with the same roundabout again.
Yes, and we were so tired and frustrated. And at one point, Beth has to go to the bathroom so badly.
So bad.
That we have got to pull off the road somewhere and let her go.
So bad.
We almost pulled into this car lot, like where they sell cars, to see if we could find a bathroom.
I was literally going to have to go in the woods if we didn't find something.
So we pull in. We were coming into Oxford finally, and she was like, we're going to pull into this pub and I'm going to the bathroom. And so she pulls into the parking lot. And you know what? And it's not a huge parking lot, but there's plenty of spaces. But she chooses the one that is surrounded by cars.
Well, it's because, in my defense, I could pull straight in. It was close to the door, and I was dying.
She was dying. And of course, the alarms start going off in the car because she's too close to the one in front of her, and she taps it.
I paid the big bucks for the full coverage insurance. And
which became our mantra.
I can't tell you how many times during this trip we said, full coverage.
No. And so I've been like, get out of the car, go to the bathroom. I will move the car into a better parking space. We'll have a beer. We'll sit for an hour. We'll do something. And then we'll figure out where we're going from there.
We're going to calm down.
Because it's bumper to bumper traffic coming in anyway. And making that turn into that pub was, a little difficult because, traffic. And then,
if you've ever driven into Oxford, you will know what I mean when I say they have taken this ring road or circle road or whatever they call it, and it goes all the way around the outskirts. And you can't just drive in and go into the center of Old Town and make your way to your hotel. And this is what happened to us. We came in here to the ring road. Our hotel's in the center, just a little to our left. Am I going the right way? Or to our right. And we had to go all the way around the ring road and get off at the exit there. You can't just get off. There's all kinds of fines for being in town and not being on the ring road and all of this stuff. And you really have to know the rules, which we did not. So we decided to follow the GPS. We sit down in this pub where we are. We get a beer. Shelley gets out her map on her phone because now we're not plugged into the car. She has a minute to look, and she realizes that we are literally down the street.
Pretty much, yeah.
From
we were almost there, y'all. We were almost there.
But nonetheless, I'm glad we stopped.
I think we both needed the break anyway because we were really stressed out. You were on the verge of wetting your pants. I needed to go to the bathroom too.
Yeah.
And we needed a minute because, yeah. I think I make driving sometimes a little more stressful than it should be.
You think?
And so, yeah.
I love this woman with all my heart. But yeah, she does.
I did, yeah. And so a lot of the rest of the trip, well, up until I think York, I ended up driving just because. It made everybody's life easier.
Yeah, and we should say, not because I'm a bad driver.
I'm just a bad writer.
Yeah.
And sometimes I guess I'm a control freak, and I'm worried, that you're not seeing everything, even though you are.
And weirdly, I drive almost all the time here.
Anyway,
enough about the driving.
Okay. So
we finally got to where we were just staying one night. Yep. We were leaving the next day, and we stayed at I'm going to call it a guest house called Newton House. It was a good base. There was a pub that was a couple of blocks away, which was perfect for that night when we got there. It was about a 20-minute walk to the college area.
Mm-hmm.
The reason we stayed there is because accommodations in Oxford are very expensive. And so I was looking around for something more reasonable, and this had great reviews and blah, blah. Would I stay there again? Probably not. It was okay. It was fine. But there was something about it that I didn't love.
Okay. I like the fact that we had free parking up until 12 noon.
True.
And, I slept fine that night. It was just a cute little bedroom. It wasn't anything fancy at all.
It was clean. It was
clean.
All of that.
We got up in the morning and we were able to, I think I would have preferred to be like in the city center, but then you're talking about hundreds and hundreds of more dollars to spend there. And we were just going to be there for a night.
Yeah.
There's no reason for that.
So it was fine. But, if I were going back, I'd probably check a little more. See if I could find something that was a little closer in, or I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't know. So we already talked about how Oxford is more spread out than you think. But one of the things I really liked about it is it's a real city. Sure, there are tourists, lots of them. But there's also real people there. There's students there. There's, people wandering around. And I liked that, like a real lived-in kind of city.
Okay. So what did we do while we were in Oxford.
Well, for one, we went to the Bodleian Library.
Yes, because we had to. Now, the thing about scheduling these tours is they only released a few online for you to sign up for when like 1 month, exactly 1 month.
Yeah,
to the
30
day
days.
that you're going to be there. And then the rest of them are walk-up tours. Like you can walk up and get one. But of course, you got to be there at a certain time, or you know, maybe you show up at 8, but you can't get into one.
Right.
So you got to be really flexible about it.
And we didn't really have the time to be flexible for this part.
We didn't think we did.
So we wouldn't have if their flight hadn't been diverted and all that. So we decided, Shelley's giving me the signal that my hair is standing up. Here we go. Is that better, dear?
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, this is going to be a great video.
Oh, well, you know.
Yeah. So anyway, we had booked that in advance because that was the one thing that we absolutely did not want to miss.
Yes.
And we did the Bodleian, we did what was billed as the Bodleian Library and the Divinity School tour.
Yes.
And we started in the Divinity School.
Yes. I'm just going to keep agreeing with you. Yes.
Okay. And it is this incredible, basically, Gothic hall.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, there was Harry Potter film there. They used it for their hospital wing.
The hospital wing, yes.
And it was just incredible. And on one end were the benches that you picture where students are sitting and listening to lectures. On the other end was empty space, that's where they heard lectures. I still do, right?
I think they do, yeah. I think it's still in its session, but, you know.
So they hear lectures, they take tests. So anyway, it started there. We heard all about the history of the room and the divinity school and all of that.
Symbols in the ceiling.
Yeah, and it was really, really fascinating. And then we walked up to the Bodleian Library.
To Duke Humphreys.
The Duke Humphreys Library. And it's a little hard to explain, but when you come off the stairs and you hit the floor, there's a huge, almost like a long hall, and it is lined with, I don't know how tall those bookcases are, 16 feet high or something.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's like 2 stories high of shelves filled with books, old wood bookcases, and some beautiful views out a big picturesque window. And then across from that window is where the gatekeeper sits. She's also probably a librarian.
And the keymaster.
And you have to, there's a gate or a little, flippy door thing that you have to go through. You have to scan your card or check in with her or whatever to go in. And you can see from where we're standing all the stacks going back, the old wood stacks and the ceiling and the statues and all of the stuff. But the tour we booked, we didn't go past that gate, if you will. We could see it somewhat, and we heard all about it. But next time we go back, we will book the more extensive Bodleian or Duke Humphreys portion and really go in there.
So, yeah, hopefully they'll let us go back into the Selden Inn. That's what it's called back there.
Okay.
And so when they did Discovery of Witches, they actually didn't even film it back there because, probably because it cost too much and it was way,
it wasn't very accessible.
It wasn't, accessible at the time because, students absolutely use it. And there were kings that have come and sat in those benches and read books.
It is completely in use.
So they did that in a studio, but you could see the beauty of the shelves lined and the places where they can sit. And then there's a whole room in the back that I would have loved to check out. But, of course, we weren't allowed back there.
Yeah, it was real beautiful.
Of course, they did film Harry Potter here, too. It was where the library, for the Hogwarts.
Right.
Which I think was perfect.
And they filmed it.
Library.
Our tour guide was telling us that they filmed it in the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
When it was closed for students.
Which explains why it was so dark in there.
Yeah, or at the crack of dawn, before students are before it's really open for business, if you will. But it was truly a special experience. Our guide also showed us when this library was started by Duke Humphreys, right? No.
Charles Bodley.
Bodley.
I think his name was Charles.
You're right. It was
I
a
may need to
Bodley.
look that up, but his last name was Bodley.
Yeah, and that's why they call it the Bodleian. Anyway, he donated 20 manuscripts, maybe 200 manuscripts. I can't remember. And they were all hand done, in this time period, and incredibly valuable. And so it started off as a chained library where the book is actually attached by a chain to the shelf. So you can pull it out, you can lay it open, and you can read or find what you're looking for of the book, but you can't. It's chained to the shelf. And that library is no longer like that, but it is. You still cannot take a book out of that library. There is no such thing as checking out a book. So, but it has the oldest books in that part of Oxford, and they're all incredibly valuable. Now, they also have another library that has whatever time period forward that you can go to that's in a modern building. But it was really incredible to go in there and see it.
Yes.
Truly was like being in a movie.
It was. And I want to take a side note right here to say that on our cute little tour, there was a guy dressed in a Harry Potter robe.
There was. And Oxford, because several things were filmed there for the Harry Potter. Whoa. So sorry. The Harry Potter series of films. Fans flock there now to see those sites. And bless Oxford, they have leaned in to the Harry Potter mania, and there are several stores you can go to where you can buy quite nice souvenirs, actually. They're not all just tacky shops. And you can really kind of get the feel of it if you're a Harry Potter fan. You can take specific tours. We didn't do that. But
there's lots of specific tours.
You can do that.
You can do. As a matter of fact, on the blog post, I have a whole list of them, where they take you around.
Yeah.
But everywhere we went, there was somebody either in a scarf or a robe or some sort of little thing where they're at some special place and they're taking their pictures.
Yes.
So at first it was really cute, and then it kind of got to be a little overdone, in my personal opinion.
Well, because there were other places we went in England where they had also
everywhere
filmed.
In England it was filmed, and we ended up, I mean, even in Scotland at one point, we didn't think we were, on the Harry Potter tour. Harry Potter was filmed right down there. It was like, oh, man.
Yeah, they were all over the UK.
Yeah.
But anything else you want to say about that? I mean, it was...
No, it was a spiritual experience. I love some libraries. I wish that I could have gone and walked, back toward the Selden Inn. I wish they would have let us, but I totally understand why they don't let tourists back there. I mean, students are busy. But it was a highlight. I love me some libraries.
Yes. So by then, because we had done this in the morning, and we thought after we did this, we would be meeting Anne and Julie for a lunch and going on and doing some other things. Didn't turn out that way. So we kind of wandered, as we're wont to do, and we saw the
Ashmolean. That's where we went next.
Did we do that next?
Yeah.
Okay.
We did. Our outline is out of order.
Yes.
But we went to the Ashmolean because that was one that we didn't think they wanted to do.
That's right.
And I wanted to see it because, of course, if you read Discovery of Witches or if you've seen it, they talk about Ashmole 782, which is a rare manuscript or whatever. And so the kind of backlog was this guy, Elias Ashmole, collected all of this stuff. And of course, they've put it in a museum now. And I thought it was a fantastic museum. They had Greek statues. They had Egyptian things in there. I mean, it was much bigger than I expected it to be.
Yes.
And we were only in there maybe an hour just walking around.
But it's free.
It's free.
And, you know, I mean, if you've only got 30 minutes or an hour and you're right there, I would say pop in there and see what you want to see.
Yeah.
And if you're interested in Elias Ashmole, they have a little area that's dedicated to him that they opened on the 400th anniversary of his birth. And there's portraits of him. There's some of the original core items from 1683 that he donated to Oxford that founded the collection.
We walked through that, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Mm-hmm. That is now, you know, the original thing that he donated to start the museum is now, I mean, I don't know, it's 100 times bigger than that or something. Yeah. But, you know, an example is like he had all these collections, he and his family. One of the things they had found was Guy Fawkes' lantern. There was a 17th century, what's the big ball that you use to tell the fortunes?
What's a crystal ball?
A crystal ball. Thank you. Couldn't think of it. From this 17th century or something. I mean, just like these oddities that they collected. Yes. And so some of them are in that section along with his story and everything. And I really enjoyed that.
That was really cool, that part.
And then that Greek and Egyptian gallery or galleries that we went through. I know you loved it.
Yes, there were mummies back there, and I believe they had a school group, didn't they?
They did.
I believe they did have a school group.
They had a school group, so we could, you know, sometimes it's fun if they're not crowding you out of a place. It's kind of fun to be in the same room with a school group because you hear the guide talking to them and you learn stuff. So it was kind of cool. And they had what was the room? Somebody's tomb. But it was essentially a room that they had
recreated pretty much.
Recreated. Some of it was real, some of it wasn't, all of that. But that stemmed from his collection that he and his family had started. So anyway, go to the Ashmolean if you're interested in that kind of thing. It was good.
And then we decided after that, I was like, okay, well, we'll just head back. That 5-minute walk back toward the center of town and see what else. I wanted to take a picture of the Bridge of Sighs because that was a famous landmark in Oxford and it's pretty.
It is.
And so we wandered over there, started taking pictures, and I was like, well, what's down this road?
Okay, wait. Tell them what a Bridge of Sighs is because there are several. You want me to architecturally explain it?
Yes, because it's a bridge that goes over. Oh no, it's a pretty bridge.
It's you're talking about the one that connected the two buildings.
Yes, it connects two buildings with the windows.
So so it's up on the second or third story, and it's curved. So it goes up and it makes kind of a beautiful arc, and it is in the same architecture usually as the buildings that it is connecting. And they have those in many places in Europe. And I can't remember why they call it the Bridge of Sighs, but they have a beautiful one there. So we went to see that and take pictures.
Yes. And then as we're walking down through there, it led you into New College. And I mean, honestly, this is a part where we're actually wandering. I don't have a map. I have no idea where we're going. I don't have a plan at this point at all, except just to see what we can until our friends arrive. And
it's worth saying New College isn't new.
No, it's the oldest college there, I believe, isn't it?
I think it was when they built it, it was the New College, but that was still in the whatever hundreds. Way back when. Called New College, even though it was founded in 1379, making it, as you said, one of the oldest and most famous colleges. It has medieval cloisters and beautiful gardens, but its name is the Warden and Scholars of St. Mary College of Winchester in Oxford. Whew. And it was called
That's
New
really
College.
long.
It was called New College because there was an earlier college before 1379 that was also dedicated to the Virgin Mary.
Oh.
So anyway, that's why it's called New College, even though it's from 1379. So we paid like what, 11
pounds. Totally worth it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you got to go into the chapel area where we happened upon the boys' choir rehearsing.
Oh, my heavens. It was such a highlight for me. It was incredible. They were rehearsing. I stood there and watched them. Oh. Because they were rehearsing, I didn't actually get to go in the chapel, but the doors have grills in them, so you can just look right through, and I could watch them, and it was incredible.
It was really cool.
It was just divine timing, if you will, that I got to be there. But there was also, guess what? Something from Harry Potter filmed there.
So the cloister out back is where they turn Malfoy into a ferret in that particular scene.
Yes.
So of course you've got the what are the things around the cloisters called?
Arches. And,
the arches.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
but the corridors. That's what I'm thinking of. And then you have the cloister out, and it's beautiful and it's grassy. And I'm not sure we were supposed to be out there on the grass, but they had a bench and you can go sit. And it was a very peaceful little moment.
Because it was just us and one other couple.
Yes. Who were taking their Harry Potter pictures.
They were.
And then I think a family came out at the same, right after that. And we decided it was time to go
but it was very quiet and beautiful.
God, it was great.
And, I love a good cloister.
Of course.
And this cloister was quite beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we went to a different section of the college where they have these beautiful gardens. And only students are allowed to walk on the grass, which is true in a lot of the colleges at Oxford. And so anyway, but there is a path, a rock path that went all the way around this garden, all four sides. And so we walked that, and it was quite beautiful.
Yeah, we walked all the way around it, and they had a big giant molehill in the middle that you weren't allowed to go up on.
Yeah,
it was kind of mysterious.
Yeah, what do they call that?
I don't remember.
I
call it a molehill.
That's feature. Shoot,
I don't know why I brought it up, but anyway. So after that, we're still waiting for our friends because, delays and such, and so. We finally decided, you know what? It's time for a beer.
Yes. It was past time, really.
It was past time for a beer, really. So I looked up, and of course, Discovery of Witches. I wanted to go to the White Horse, which is actually right across from the college, the Bodleian right there. A little bitty bar. And they had filmed a scene in there from the Discovery of Witches television series. And so I wanted to pop in and just see it. And we had a great beer.
We did.
It was a lovely afternoon to sit in and just have one. And we were waiting, it took us a minute so we could have some downtime to check out our pictures, to take a breather, to figure out how much time we had before we could do anything else. And at that point, we realized that our friends were on the bus. They were on their way to see us. And we were trying to give them directions about where to pick them up because, we don't know where we're going. But there is a bus that goes straight from Heathrow into Oxford to the Green. I believe Gloucester Green is what it was called.
Yeah.
And we were able to just pop over and pick them up and then go get some food. And
to find that bus, because it's actually a bus that's run by Oxford.
Oh, yes.
And it goes I think every hour or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you just go on to Oxford University's website and you can find the information for that bus.
And also, because we told you it's difficult to drive your car into the city, they don't want you to do that. There's all kinds of fees that they will charge for. I don't think they charged us anything. We did, however, get a parking ticket.
We did.
Because we were there 10 minutes after the expiration for our...
Yeah.
We were in a parking garage too.
Yes.
And because everything is monitored by camera and we had to leave 10 minutes later and we got a parking ticket. So be aware of that.
Yes.
And if you can do the park and ride, Just do the park and ride buses into town. There's
They-
a bunch of them.
There's a ton of them all around the infamous Ring Road.
Yes.
There are park and rides, and they make multiple stops. But we were staying there. We were picking up the friends with luggage, and so we couldn't do that.
So
But
this, our
would
first
recommend
time,
it.
This is what we learned. So,
Indeed.
yeah, so I would recommend that you definitely do the park and ride. And you can do Oxford in a day trip, no problem. We would recommend you do it a little bit longer because there's some things that we didn't get to do. Like there was a whole park of food stalls
Oh, yeah.
over by the green. And,
Mhm.
it'd be neat to try some of that stuff out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, of course, we had planned to visit Christchurch,
And we
which, of
didn't
course,
do
was
that.
where the Grand Hall is for Harry Potter, I think, and we weren't unable to do that. So the covered market, which apparently is a great place to shop.
I think that's where the food stalls were, wasn't it?
No, it's
Or
a different
that's
place.
separate.
It's
Okay.
a different place, yes.
Okay.
And Oxford was, an inspiration to many great writers. So you had Tolkien was there at some point, and C.S. Lewis and Lewis Carroll. As a matter of fact, a good friend of ours is a big Alice in Wonderland fan, and that was the reason that she had gone to Oxford, because it was an inspiration for that book. And so, weirdly enough, we've never read it.
Yeah, we talked about it while we were there. I said, I have never actually read Alice in Wonderland. And Shelley said, neither have I. And I'm like, well, we got to buy it while we're here.
So
And we did.
we bought a copy. It is on the reading list.
Yes,
We'll
so
let you
we're
know
going to
how it
both read
goes.
it.
So, those are things. We actually, we ended up in the major bookshop and bought one of those. But there's an Oxford Castle and apparently a prison, which, I'm not sure I'd want to visit, but there's a lot of history there. So we'd recommend that you stay more than one day. A day trip you can do and get the highlights. And especially, of course, there are all kinds of day trips from London, that you can get
Tons
on
of
a
them.
tour, or you could just get the bus. But I'd actually recommend going in and staying the night. Our original plan was to get into Oxford that afternoon, park the car, and then walk into town and do a little exploring. But we were so stressed out and exhausted from driving that we said, nope, we're going to the pub and we're going back home.
And it took about 3 times longer than we thought it was going to.
Yes, it took much longer just because of traffic and driving. And yes, that's something we definitely learned on our first trip.
And I originally wanted to rent a car in Oxford, pick it up there, turn it in Edinburgh, which would have been so much better.
Yeah, much easier.
However, there are so few car rental places in Oxford, they do not allow a secondary drop-off.
Yeah.
So I had to get it in London, but I might try to think of a different way to do that. If we did that again, I might try to.
Yeah, because once you get out of London, I don't know how well the buses and everything run to different cities. And we knew that we were going to have to do a road trip. There's no way that we could do what we wanted to do without a car.
No, they're just.
It was necessary.
It was.
All right. Well,
so I think Oxford surprised us in a lot of ways. Its size, really,
beauty.
Even though it was so much bigger than we thought it was going to be, we still loved it and would love to go back and do more there.
Yes.
So I really, recommend going to Oxford if you haven't been.
Yes.
So this is just the first day and a half, our 3-week trip.
Oh,
boy, howdy.
Oh,
So next we head into the Cotswolds.
yes.
Which was a total delight.
Oh, God, so beautiful.
And that's what our next podcast will be about.
Yep. So our next recording will be about the Cotswolds. We also kind of have one coming out about Fatima. We're going to be working on that one pretty soon.
Oh, yeah. Back in Portugal.
Yeah.
Fatima's in Portugal.
And while we've, just been at home, we've done a couple of day trips. And so we got a few things to tell you.
Yeah.
That, are definitely off the beaten path. Things that you probably would not get a tour from Lisbon into. So we got some things to tell you about that. So lots of cool stuff coming up.
Yes.
So if you like it, subscribe.
Share.
Please share. Tell all your friends how amazing we are, especially now that we may or may not be on video. We'll see how this goes. Since
We'll
the
see what
internet
it looks
keeps
like.
going out on us.
Yeah.
If you are part of our little social media circle, you would know I posted a video the other day about the internet going out.
Yes, it does happen.
And today it has been rather spotty.
Yeah.
So,
but more to come.
more to come.
Yeah. So I think we can say
Boa tarde.
Boa tarde.
Thanks for wandering with us. If you had a laugh, learned something new, or just enjoyed the ride, be sure to follow us on all of our social media at Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, YouTube, and I think that's it. Check out our website at www.forus, that's www.forus.com, and drop us a line at our email address at wandering@www.forus.com. We'd love to hear from you, your stories, questions, or favorite travel fails. Until next time, keep exploring, keep laughing, and remember, wandering works for us, and it just might work for you too.